What's going on, everybody? Pimp, the one and only here with today's turf guide. With me is, we'll say, what do you want to call you today? Well, we'll just say community representative Jeff Fiesel, aka Sir Real. What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey everybody, how's it going?
I choked up there. I couldn't think of a good. I should have came up with something ahead of time. I couldn't think of something good, and I was like, well, we'll go with community representative Jeff Fiesel. Now, hold on. Before we even get started with today's turf guide, I'm going to throw up a picture for you guys. I want you to have a look at this. This is Jeff Fiesel right here, Mr. Surreal in action. Get your last minute pinks and make your team proud. This is that picture you sent me the other day, Jeff, and I think it's awesome. It's so funny. You always get that one person. That's a nice. What is that? It's an HK, right? RWB and that's the
HKM. Yeah, and that's faster than the Pandora, but
yeah,
it's whatever. I put it up there. Hey, last minute pinks, let's go, make your team proud.
Yep.
He challenged first.
There it is.
Pinks, and there he went.
Yeah, I just like that picture because you're always talking about make your team proud, last minute pinks, and there it is in action. All right, guys. So I was talking to Jeff beforehand, just before we went live, and we were kind of talking. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a quick live stream tonight, unless we just get off topic, which tell you what, we do all the time, so who knows. But we have 3 events this week, and all 3 of them are, you guessed it, the same. It's any car will be eligible. Any car, any tune, any lobby, any conversion, whatever you want, it's eligible for turf for all 3 events, which they've done this before, sort of, with turbo and free-for-alls. And well, turbo's not quite any car, although I don't think there's a car out there that doesn't qualify. Is there a car out there that's only supercharged, do you know, that doesn't have turbo?
There is.
Okay.
Darn it, we just went through this the other day. Oh, it's the Dodge Charger Limited.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, Dirty Hammer got it. Dirty Hammer knows what's up. Craig, wrong. He said the Javelin. Out of here, Craig. I don't know. Man. I don't know if they have Javelin. I don't think it's eligible for. But anyways, who knows? So yeah, I mean, lots of cars in the game. We don't have an exact amount. We were kind of guesstimating earlier. So Jeff kind of thinks that maybe there's about, what do you think, roughly 600 regular showroom?
There's probably somewhere like there, yeah, somewhere around 600 regular cars.
Okay. So
that includes stuff we grabbed out of crates and Racer Showdown.
And that's over the last 4 years. So
yeah.
But then we started thinking about turf cars. Now, let me see if I can recreate the math real quick. So the game's going on, we'll say not quite, but roughly 4 years. We'll use that as an example. 52 weeks of the year times 4. We're looking at 208. Now, we know that some turf cars have repeated. Most of them have all repeated twice. Have repeated. Some of them have repeated twice. So we're going to multiply that by, but we'll say like 60. You think 60 is a fair number there? 60%?
Yeah, 60%, I would say, probably.
Okay, so
a lot of the earlier cars were never repeated, but
yeah,
they started repeating them. So
some
were, but not many.
I don't know. So we're looking at about that's 125 turf cars right there. So now we're looking at 725. But easily, we think that, between Showdown, with all the different Showdown cars, remember there was a bronze, a silver, and a gold for each week. Showdown, all the special events, there's all the different dragsters. There must be a handful, 6, 7, 8 dragsters. We're talking dragsters, the Bozazuko, the Scion dragster, the all the Halloween, the the Hot Wheels
Oh yeah.
cars. I mean, the list goes on
So
and on.
so many.
There's
Yeah.
the very first Javelin that had it was the 4th of July. There's all those special events there. All
Yeah.
the ones for the what was it? The 12 days of Racemas, or
Sure.
was it 12 days, or
Um,
it was a
it
lot of
wasn't,
days.
but what was it? It was a lot of days. You're right.
I think it's
What
12
did they
days.
call
Yeah, I
it?
think it's 12 days. That makes sense. So we're easily looking at another 300, easy right there. I mean, probably way more than that. So now we're up to about six. We're up 900 cars, and I think that's the very low end of the estimation. I think it could be a lot more than that. So, so when they say any car is eligible, I think we're going to see so many cars out there, so many lobbies. It's going to probably get confusing for people because there's so many cars out there with performance parts that I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember a lot of them, but I'm sure you're going to get hung up on a few and go, "Ooh, did that one have it? Did that one have it?"
Every time we have a free for all event like this, or even some turbo events,
Yeah.
I typically don't build for them
Nope.
because I have 1,200 cars, so I
Yeah.
just race what I have.
That's
And I may only have two of something, so I race that car, and then I go to another different car, and then for some reason I'm not being able to launch it. I want to launch like the car I just got out of, and it just it's a mess. These events are nice because everything's eligible, but man, it gets confusing.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, just like this last R event,
Yeah.
R class event, I was running Stellas and Stellas and Stellas. Next thing I know, I'm going to a Pandora. Next thing I know, I'm spinning like crazy. Well, I wouldn't spin, but you know what I'm saying? I'm
right.
launching way late. It's like, man.
Yep. You might as well call it a spin.
Yeah, it's dead launch. Should be a spin, but yeah, it's like, or a different car even, and the launch is later or it's earlier than what you've been doing, and you're fouling or you're spinning. It's like, it can get confusing for sure.
Yeah, you switch it up, and a lot of times I go from car to car, but I'll take it before I even go to turf. I'll hit the test track up, and I'll do good 10, 15 races, depending on how I'm doing, 10, 15 races just to, make sure that I have the timing down and the shifts and that. And sometimes 10, 15 is not even enough, depending on, how familiar I am with the car. So there's going to be a lot of cars, a lot of confusion out there, a lot of fun. I basically think there's probably a couple different categories, but I think generally we're going to be looking at three different categories that people are going to be racing for. So the first category, I think, is going to be points. What cars are going to get them the most points the fastest? There's all sorts of different ways you can look at that, but that's going to be one category. The second category is going to be the one I'm going to be in mostly, is the car that I have the most fun. The car that I like for whatever reason, whether it's you race it, you're good at racing it, or whether it's a car that gets you a lot of pinks, or a car that gives you a challenge if you're looking for a challenge. But it's going to be the car that gives you the most fun, and that's where I'm at. And then I think there's going to be another category out there, and I'm going to say it's going to be based on budget, based on what your budget is. There's people out there that have a higher budget, and it's going to open up their arsenal a lot wider than somebody who's on a tighter, smaller budget. And depending on how many points you need for your team, that's going to determine, part of your budget as well. So I think those are like the three main categories that's going to determine what car people have on the track. So which category do you think you're going to be in? You just going to race for fun there, Jeff?
Yeah, we're not really going to push hard. We raced the last 2 weeks pretty hard, trying to keep our team name.
Yeah. How'd you guys do?
We finished 11th.
Oh, well, then
overall.
you get to keep your car, your name, your car. You get to keep your car and your team name.
Yeah, so we did good.
Yeah.
Very, very proud of these guys. They're always pushing like that, and it's really good to see them, step up like that when we had to. And we had a top 5 2 weeks ago and 30th this week, and couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Sean Lee just asked, it's funny, Sean Lee just asked where Todd's been. Where has Todd been? I swear I saw Todd. I meant to say something because I haven't seen him in a while, but I swear I saw him, unless it was a fake account. I think I might have seen him up in the live chat earlier, like right when we went live. That was cool. But I can't wait, man. I'm just waiting for, I'm waiting for, I know we're all waiting for 7.0, but like, I'm really just waiting for it. Like, I hate to say it's not that the game's getting boring, but I'm kind of like, all right, well, what's the point of really going hardcore at this point in time, you know?
Yeah, you know, like I said, they gave us the option, option to keep our name. I was really surprised that a lot of people did not go for that.
Yeah.
Just kind of surprised me a little bit, but I don't know, gave us something to do.
Yeah.
Something else. Cars, what have you. The rep was really nice on this last week's car.
On the Viper?
On the Viper, yeah. I'm not a real big fan of that car, but it sure looked nice. That car, they let us see that when we were in Cali. They said, well, this is going to be next week, and then it wasn't. And I was like, well, I thought I knew what was coming.
But then it was this
week.
We
got to see it. So it got the spring colors, the pastels. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So we got some people here in the house. We got Marilyn Menace, Sick Killer Mr. Castro, Mama X3RR, Jason Savage, of course, Justice Smoking, Craig Wood, Dirty Hammers here. We just got COD COD Gaming for the win. Lugnuts is here. He says, hey, Jeff.
Yep, that's my buddy.
Kayletta Rose, Jawser. Yeah, freezing rain, ice store here too, Jawser. And the weather has been miserable. It's been one of those days. All I want to do, like, I love live streaming, but I'll be completely honest. All I want to do today is just wrap up in a blanket, lay on the couch, watch some Netflix, and just pass out. But I'm going to hold off on that until we finish up the live stream. So any event, any car at any event, that just leaves it completely wide open. I don't even know, man. I know, like, the usual that we're going to see. The Evo 8s are going to be out. Probably the C-Class Cobra, the SVT Cobras.
You know, what I told my guys, it's like this. Okay, maxed R3 is where your points are going to be. You're going to get about 1,000 probably for a free race, anywhere between 5,000 and 6,000 for a crutch.
Yeah.
If you go down to say the SVT Cobra, in 50s lobby, you're going to get about 100 and maybe 400 crush points. So it just depends on what you want to do. You want to go have fun. You want to, run cheap and race a lot, or you just want to, go free race for 1,000 points.
Yeah.
You're going to go crush R3s for a lot of points. Then it's whatever. It's for us, it's what I mentioned right off the bat when I seen those events. It's like let's just go do what we do. Have fun. Keep what you want. Crush what you want. Stay top 75. It's an S-Class car. It's a really nice S-Class car. Very, very fast car. I don't know. I say we go get it, but let's just have fun doing it. You don't need to really, waste a lot of cars.
Yeah, you know what? This week, what is it? It's the 86 Ford Focus RS 200 RE.
Yeah.
I kind of like that wrap. I mean, it's kind of retro, kind of 80s look, kind of simple, but not boring. I like it. I kind of like it. I don't know much about that car, to be honest. So, and I guess at this point in time, it really doesn't matter. I mean, to be honest,
Right. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a nice car. It's one of the guys on the team said that it's like lobby killer at 6.3, but I have two, and they're both tuned to max.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of a difficult drive because my hands and stuff. But yeah, I like it. It's a neat car and it's wicked fast.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What's wrong with your buddy Craig? Was he dropped on his head? Is he a little bit thick in the head? Like, I forget what I was talking. I was talking about, like, yeah, it's been a long day. It's cold out. I just want to wrap up in a blanket, watch some Netflix, you know, take a nap, fall asleep on the couch. And where is it? He says something about, I'll cuddle with you, Joe. But what the? What's wrong with you, Craig? Come on, man. What's wrong with you? He's a character, that guy is, right? I guess that's why we have him in the group.
Meet that dude. Go see how he's like sitting next to his wife.
I bet you she wears the pants. Literally, she's wearing the pants. Literal and figuratively. Makes you laugh though, doesn't it? Yeah, it does, Craig. He's a character. I wouldn't mind. Next time, I tell you, one of these days, I go through and I have a layover in Baltimore all the time when I fly. For whatever reason, they always take me through Baltimore. But all my layovers are just short layovers. So if I have a long layover one of these days, man, I'm gonna definitely hit him up and go out and have a few drinks with that dude. Jersey Kid, what's up? He said something earlier. Hey. I think he said, hey, Joe. Was that him? He says, hey, Craig Wood. Yeah, he says, hey, Joe. Jersey Kid did. So, hey, Jersey Kid.
As soon as he got on, he was saying hi to us.
Yeah. I just wanted to kind of, you know, return the favor there, Jersey Kid. What are you guys, Craig, what are you racing this week? Jersey Kid, what are you racing this week? I want to know, Mr. Stranger, what are you racing? Justice, what are you racing, guys? Let me know what you're racing this week as far as cars. I'm just kind of curious. Let me know. Michael Webb, there's the question we get. We get this every week, and I'm not gonna you know, berate Michael and make him feel bad, but we get it all the time. And I do want to say that make sure to check out Carbonated's Twitch channel, the Racing Rivals Facebook pages. I think they're on their Twitter. I don't do Twitter, but they're on Twitter. They're on Instagram. Just follow them on social media, and you'll know when the update's coming out. And I'll tell you a hint right now, nobody knows, all right? Nobody knows when it's coming out. It's going to be soon, sooner rather than later, but we don't have a date. I'm still thinking it's at least a couple weeks out, right? Maybe? Guessing? I don't know.
Well, this is what I tell everybody, Joe.
Yes.
They told us a long time ago. A long time ago. Like maybe their 5th or 6th episode. And this came right out of Colby's mouth. He simply said this. When we decide that it's time for us to launch this, we will give you guys plenty of time, a couple days time notice. And then what happens after that, they'll give us the notice, and then it'll be 2 or 3 hours, maybe longer, the game will shut off. And then when it comes back on, we'll be 7.0 live.
Yep, okay.
So we're going to have, they're going to, when they're ready, they will tell us, and they will give us an advance warning a couple days. So, you know, it's not going to be like, we wake up, turn the app on, and no, server not found. Okay. It's not going to be that way. They're going to let us know, hey, it's Thursday, so Sunday night, we're shutting it down, or whatever, you know, however they want to do it. If it's first thing Monday morning, if it's, you know, hell, middle of turf, whenever that's ready, they'll be ready, and they'll let us know. So,
all right. Well, that's good, you know.
That's the best I got. I mean, you know.
Well, that's the best any of us have.
Yeah, we keep getting the question, but you know, we just gotta wait till they tell us, and then from that point, then we'll have a few days notice. So,
how you doing with?
They want it out as bad as we do. So,
how are you doing with your garage as far as tuning it and getting everything in order?
Oh God, I did it for a long time.
Yeah,
and it got really boring.
I hate it. I haven't touched anything, and it's I'll be honest, like I don't even know if I'm gonna even. I'd like to think I am, but I don't know, man. I just absolutely despise going through and tuning every car. making sure part by part. It's I got better things to do with my time. And
I'll be honest, I was doing it, and then I went out to LA.
Yeah.
And when I seen and heard how much stuff's going to be available to do in 7.0.
Right. You're not going to want to worry about your legacy garage.
With legacy that much.
Well, that's.
And if I do, I have my garages pretty well tuned. I mean, it's a third of the way tuned anyway, if not more.
So that's exactly what I'm thinking. So unless I'm mistaken here, and they could change it, they might not even have the details yet. But legacy events, from what I've heard, it's and like I said, I could be wrong, and they could change it. But from what I've heard, legacy events are just to get, like old school wheels and stuff to kind of put on cars to show them off and stuff. So. That's really not my biggest concern, to be honest. And, like you said, there's so much going on in 7.0. Even just what we know right now is enough it's going to keep us busy forever, for a long time. So am I really going to be wanting to be fiddling around with legacy old school cars as, here's my, yeah, it's great. I love them now, but are we going to want to be messing around with those when there's all sorts of new cars, new events, new, all sorts of stuff going on in the game? I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a thing of the past, just like any other video game I've ever played. The anticipation of the update, you're like, oh, I got to get this ready and that ready and do this. And then when the update comes out, you're like, why am I even going to that old zone back there with that, that part of the map? I'm not going to that map anymore. There's nothing there for me. All the cool shit's over here.
Right. I had plenty of RRC.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of it. I tuned with some of it before. I bought all those high dollar turbo,
Yeah.
For my R3s and all my turfs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, before I knew $1 parts were coming, but I went ahead and spent a bunch, and then I gave some away, and I bought some stuff. I helped team members, so that they have stuff to turf with, tune with. And right now I'm at a comfortable, 25 million or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Lowest I've been in 4 years, but so yeah, I'm not trying to spend any more money on anything.
Right.
If I buy any cars off of anybody, I'm strictly paying PayPal. I'm not trying to spend my RC. That's whatever. I'm not tuning anymore. No, I'm not. I tune what I need to for turf to get through, and that's it. And I'm glad that we have these free for all events because I don't have to tune anything.
Right. Maybe I could spend some time actually tuning my legacy garage, even though I really just don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for me. It's going to go there. It's going to be, the trophy peak. You can look through, go, hey, here's the old archives, basically. Look at these old cars I used to race. Yeah, look at that one. And how long, even right now.
You and I had talked earlier about having all that inventory. That's all I've been doing.
Oh, gosh.
I've been trying to make stuff pretty and get through this inventory. It seems like it's never ending.
That's actually what I really need to focus on, the inventory. I got a lot of crates to open up, but my inventory is just jam-packed. I'm going to just probably start throwing paints on cars and wheels and just, I don't know. And I'm going to try to consolidate my money. I have a good deal of money across a ton of accounts. I don't know what to do with it, man. I might just go through and just buy, I don't know, do I buy Stellas, BMWs, or all the other RRC cars in the showroom that are going to be useless down the road? Or do I just be dumb and make a video and buy mill wheels for every car I have? I don't know. I don't know. What do you do, really? It's kind of sad to look at, and we've been gathering up and collecting and racing and winning cars and money over the last 3 or 4 years. It's kind of sad to see it all just sitting there, gonna go goodbye. Like today, somebody asked in one of the groups, they were like, "Hey, who has the most boosts in their account?" And somebody looked and showed, and I showed a screenshot of mine. And it's sad because those are all going to be gone. They're gone. We don't need them anymore because they're all cards are going to be boosted. But at the same time, it's sad to see all this stuff go that you've kind of collected and built up over the years. You know, all these cars, all the paints, the wheel. I have tons of wheels, and I know there's other people that probably have even better inventory than me. And it's like they had it in their show or in their inventory just to look at and go, yes, look at those wheels. I still have them. I could put them on any car that I wanted, but no, they're right there. And then to go, oh, well, they're going to be gone soon. That sucks. So it's kind of sad. It's a new era.
It's like, that picture that you posted up there of me winning that car.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing that's happening here lately is people are using their inventory and they're putting it on whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And then they bring it into the lobby and they pink them.
Yep.
So you're getting these really, really nice cars. Nice wheels and paint, rear lights.
Right.
Pretty awesome.
Right. Well, why not? I mean, you have it in your inventory. You might. It's going to be gone. You know, it's going to be in a legacy garage, sitting there, rotting away, collecting dust soon. Hey, you might as well throw it on a car, go out there, and you know, trying to catch up on the chat. Negative. He talks too much. I don't know if he's talking about me. No. Oh man, that's great. No, he's not talking. He's talking. There's a bunch. I love live chat, man, because it's like we have the live stream going on here. We're talking, but then there's a whole nother thing going on in live chat. A whole completely, sometimes separate, sometimes it interweaves with what we're talking about. But most of the time, it's just just some of the craziest stuff going on. You're like, what the hell?
Like they're listening, but they're reading, so they're not really paying attention, but they're hearing us, but they're not paying attention.
Right. I mean, I do that too. Like I'll put on like Carbonated during their on Wednesdays. They do their live stream, and I'm listening. I have it minimized, and I'm doing my thing. And I guess it's what everybody's doing now. They're listening to us, but they're in the live chat. They're chatting back and forth, talking shit, making deals, or or whatever they're doing. It's just funny how it's so fun to watch. I don't know. I love it. I really do. I love live streaming, and it's so exciting. I'm glad I do it. I could be sleeping on the couch right now, but no, I'm not today. Not today. Tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. I do a live stream with my buddy Stu right here.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff is not racing. Actually, I think none of it's racing rivals related. But we just hang out. We talk a bunch of crap and funny stories and pictures and videos we find on the internet and all that good stuff. And then Wednesday. This Wednesday, I don't know what's going to happen. Does Carbonated have they have a live stream this weekend, right? No?
Well, they supposedly weren't going to. I think the second recap was supposed to be the last one.
Yeah.
But what I've been telling everybody is I wouldn't count on them being without another one. I mean, they have that green room and all that nice equipment.
Oh.
I mean, if I was them, I would do it every week.
I would too. I mean, I know they have other things going on right now, but even if it's once a week or once every other week, or even just frequently when there's something to talk about,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's up to them. But you're right. It's a shame if they have all this equipment. They have the channel, the Twitch channel, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it's just another way to keep in touch with the players, the community. Tell us what they're thinking about the game, where the game's going, and then also take some feedback. That's live feedback right there. Collect it all up with the community, the people that are tuning in, what they think, and their thoughts. Because ultimately, I guess it's a two-way street. Carbonated's there. They're developing the game. They're programming it. They're coming up with all the new content and the cars and all that stuff. But it's a two-way street because we're out here and it's like, hey, take the advice. This is what we like, and you can't always take exactly what all of us like, obviously, but take into consideration what we like because ultimately we're the ones playing the game, and if we like it, we're just gonna keep playing it more and more. That's just a fact. So it kind of works both ways. It's just a really good I was going to say outlet and an inlet for creative activity for the game. Love it. So, hey, let's talk about turf. I don't think we've talked about turf yet. We're going on a half an hour, right?
We talked a little bit about turf.
Okay, so, well, I mean, I don't think we really need to go over a lot of cars, unfortunately. I mean, everybody knows. I think everybody knows what car they're going to be racing this weekend for the most part.
Yeah, you had asked the viewers what they liked, and I scrolled back and I see everyone's like K1, K1, K1. Justice Smokin said that she's going to use the Viper GTS.
Yeah.
And 6.8 cheap and good points.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, far be it from me to not go out and race some ZR1. I've got plenty of them, and I really like that car. It's my #1 car. But I'm going to be really, really, really wicked busy this weekend. I've got 15 games of bowling this weekend.
Yeah.
Huge tournament. So I'm going to have to go and max R3 cars.
Just to get your points quick?
Get my points quick, yeah. So.
Hey, it's Chucko. Chucko's here. Con Kevin says, I have a question. What's your question there, Con Kevin? So Jason, while we're waiting for that, Jason Savage says, I hate the tickets for pinks. That's some BS. 10, I think he said 10 a day, question mark. Let me find it. 10 a day, question mark. Oh, yes and no. Yes and no. There's 10 tickets for pinks in turf.
Is vouchers in 24 hours in turf.
In turf only, right?
Right.
Now
live events.
It's 10 vouchers, not necessarily 10 pinks race, not by any stretch of the imagination. If you don't lose at all, you can keep racing for pinks, raising and racing for pinks all day long. But as you lose your vouchers, if you lose 10 of them, you can no longer challenge for pinks. Now, if you raise money, challenge money, and somebody else raises you pinks, absolutely go at it. You guys can race for pinks. You just can't challenge, which is a different concept. I kind of like it, and I kind of don't like it. I'm a little on the fence for different aspects of it. I like it because hopefully it's going to get rid of this just let's buy cheap cars and race them nonstop, because you're going to lose 10 and done, you know. So I kind of like that. It's going to get rid of all those just buying cars, tuning them, and racing the cheap stuff over and over to get your points. Now you're going to have to rely on a little bit of skill because you're not going to want to do that and race and lose and get like 10, 20, I don't know, maybe some, you know, low end points and not have the ability to raise for pinks anymore. It's going to change it up. I don't know exactly how, but the other thing is, the other hand, I'm afraid that once people, you know, lose all 10 vouchers, I hope they don't get bored and just say, I'll wait till next event to get more vouchers. I'm not sure. We'll kind of see how it plays out. And, you know, I'm sure Carbonated can kind of adjust those pinks vouchers. I'm sure they can get creative. If it works out the way it is and it's all as intended and they don't see anything wrong with it, keep it. Don't change it. But if they see something, they can always change it. You know, there's nothing that's written in stone here. We can kind of voice our opinion. They can kind of evaluate the situation.
Yeah, that's the best part of 7.0.
Yeah.
They can change whatever they want, whenever they want, and it's fast and easy. They tried to do that in 6.5.
Yeah.
Everything's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best part. That's why they're building it like they are, so that, you know, they want to put cars in crates.
Yep.
They want to put, you know, add something to something simple.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's going to be built right, finally. And that's the most exciting part for me.
I like it. They said, you know, they can put up like a new live event like that.
Yeah.
You know, they can put one up and put it up for an hour. They can put it up for 24 hours. And then as soon as it's done or before it's done, they say they put one up event for, say they put one event up for an hour. As soon as that one's done, they can put another one up for an hour and then another one up for an hour. Or they can have one up for 2 hours and stagger it. After an hour, put up another one for 2 hours, and the first one's done. They can stagger them, different events back and forth. And they can do it all, you know, at the drop of a hat just because of the way the new system's running.
Yeah, they're gonna have it perfect, and you know that's everybody wanting to know when's it coming, dude. Don't rush it. We want this to be rock solid. We don't want to have game crashing and weird shit like rotors and brake disc running down the track with you. You know, we don't want all that stuff.
I can deal with some visual effects that are quite up to par. But in past update, I don't want to talk too much crap, but yeah, there's been a lot of just funky stuff going on in past updates that just, well, first of all, like 6.0, I can't go on about and tell you enough about how I feel about 6.0. I just think that was the worst update ever. Absolutely horrible. To me, it felt so incomplete, and I know it was incomplete for the most part, but even what we got, the finished product that we got, once it was polished, they put it up, and it was horrible. But then after a few weeks, they kind of polished it and did a few updates, and once they did get it running smooth, it was an incomplete. It just felt like, you know, it was rushed, 3/4, maybe even 50% of the features were there. It felt empty, and I didn't like it at all. And I think it was probably one of the worst things that happened to this game, honestly. And it was just a bad time because there was a lot of stuff going on in the background with glue and whatnot. You know, it's a business, and these big companies, you know, they don't see profits, then they start funding. And at the other time, there were contracts that fell through and ideas they were trying to push, and at the last minute they fell through. There's a lot of things that worked against it, but it was horrible. And I think to this day, the reason the game is in the state that it is for the most part was because of 6.0.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to talk too much crap because still has a lot of life in it. There's still a lot of people playing. A lot of people still like me and a lot of other people just waiting. We're waiting in the shadows. Want to see what 7.0 has to offer. And then there's. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna start rambling.
Even like today, I talked to Alvin, Mr. Alvin 72, I think is.
Yeah.
I talked to Alvin today, and he's been. I mean, they basically shut down 360 speed. They haven't raced, and he's just so bitter. And I started talking to him today, Joe, and he was saying stuff that it's like it's this or it's that, it's this, it's that. I was like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Didn't you even educate yourself? I said, none of that is true.
Right.
So I spent probably a good solid hour talking to him, and it's like, he's like, what? I was like, yeah, dude, Turf Wars is going to be, if you're a leader of a team and you're going into Turf Wars, I said, first of all, there's not going to be any more, team jumpers. You're going to have a solid team. You're going to have strategy to know what you're going to do, what perks you want to go after, who do you put here and who do you put there. I said, it's not about you go score your points and you make sure your team scores your points. I said, that's 6-5 stuff. I said, and furthermore, he's like, well, you only get 10 pinks, da-da-da. I said, no, you get 10 pink losses. You can pink 10,000 times. As long as you're not losing. You always act like, I told him, you always act like you're so much better than everybody. Why would you worry about 10 pink losses?
Well, that's it, too. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, we all lose pinks, but there's some people out there that swear up they're the best. They don't lose pinks. Da-da-da. Well, then, hey, there's nothing for you to worry about, right?
So, yeah, and I mean, finally when I was done, he was like, yeah, I'm kind of interested. I can't wait for it to come out, and I think I want to check it out, but I'm not going to spend any money on it. I was like, dude, you don't have to spend money on it. All you got to do is go race. Do what you do every day. The lobbies are the same. TAC looks the same. Tracks are all the same. You just go out and race.
Yeah.
You earn, and next thing you know, you got plenty of cars. You can turn in your collectibles. You can keep cars. You can, man,
Yeah.
All you gotta do is race. You're gonna earn RRC. You're gonna earn gems. You're gonna have everything you need, man. I said you don't need to spend money. What? He's like, what? What? How did I miss all this? I said because you don't watch. You know, loading Twitch was too hard for you or something. You just listen to everybody else complaining, and you're not paying attention.
Right. People listen to rumors too much. Like I see some chat in the live stream right now. Like, oh, I think what's he? I think 7.0, and I'm not. Nobody knows. I don't know, but he's like, 7.0 is going to drop this week after Turf because it's all free for all. Like,
yeah,
that's.
And now everybody thinks that. It's like, what are you talking about?
Watch the live streams. They tell us right there. There's no date yet, and when there is, it's not just going to, like you said, Jeff. It's not just going to drop and catch us all off guard. We know it's coming, but it's not like we're going to turn on the game one day and it's servers down. They're going to give us heads up.
We're all going to know. And once, you know, just like anything else, once they post something, within that hour, everybody in the community knows it.
Sure. So
it's posted in chats, it's posted on drama, it's posted everywhere. So anyway, I want to get this real quick before I lose it. You asked, Kevin asked, he says, I have a question. He said, what was it?
Oh, did he answer? I didn't get to see it.
When are you doing another Pinks episode? I really missed them.
Oh, is that what it was? I missed the question. So when am I going to do another Pinks? I don't know, man. Maybe I'll, you know, I'm guessing it's going to, I should probably do one. Maybe I'll do some Pinks this weekend. It's any event, you know, any cars. I can just go through and do some. What do I have going on this weekend? Anything on my schedule this weekend? I think this weekend is pretty much free. I might just do some live stream pinking. We'll see. It might just work. Because if I don't do it before 7.0 drops, it's going to be a little while because I'm going to have to build up garages and, you know, I'm not going to want to have two cars and pink and then have engine damage or whatever. Just, okay, that's it, guys, out of cars until I build up a garage. But, so maybe this weekend, we'll see if I can do that. Maybe if I can schedule some time this weekend to live stream. I know I have a few things going on, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be late Saturday afterwards. Because I live stream with my buddy Jeremy on Saturday night at his place. Maybe I come back here and do some drunk pink racing. That'll be fun.
There you go.
That'll be fun, losing cars while...
Give your account, give your phone over to Jeremy. Let him race a little bit.
Oh, God. Goodbye, accounts. Yeah, sometimes, hey, Michael, yeah, sometimes rumors are good, but I'll tell you, don't bet the farm on rumors, that's for sure. You may win from time to time, but in the long run, you lose more than you win. Rumors are just that, rumors. Unless you have an inside scoop on something, I wouldn't put too much stock in it. Here's one, Ivan. Ivan says, hey, Joe, on a different note, I have a few online friends that have been telling me that their accounts have been hacked and they're taking most of their turf cars. Do you or anyone know of this happening? I have heard of it happening, and usually it's somebody who has shared their password, somebody who has given their password out or bought their account from somebody, or somebody who has downloaded something that they shouldn't have downloaded. And most of the time it's free gems, free RRC, just download this. And I'll tell you, man, that's 90% of it right there. So.
You know, I had a guy that just got his account hacked, and what happened was, like, literally 2 or 3 years ago, he bought an account from somebody, and he never changed password.
Yep.
Everything was fine. 2 years go by. Next thing you know, boom, shit's gone.
Yep. I actually had the opposite happen. Way back years and years ago, I used to buy and sell accounts. So I bought an account, cleared it out, because that way I didn't even care if somebody logged in later on and, you know, whatever. So I bought the account, took all the cars, put them on my sales accounts. Then a few years later, I started logging on for the performance parts, you know? And all of a sudden I noticed there's a whole crap ton of cars on there. I'm like, these weren't here. I was like, there's no way. And I go and I look in the inventory and there's stuff that's been purchased that was purchased after I cleaned the account out. So, you know, weird things happen. I don't know. Maybe that person tried to sell it to somebody else, or maybe that person who sold it to me forgot he sold it. And since I didn't care about it, I just took the cars off. I didn't change the password. Maybe he started using it again and loading up cars, not realizing it was one that he sold. I don't know, but I'm looking at it going, what is going on here? Like, where are these cars coming from? Until I figured out, yeah, this guy must be, so he either sold it or, and someone else is putting cars on there, or he forgot that he sold it. I don't know, but it's freaking weird. But Ivan, yes. So for the most part, Ivan, for the most part, I will say accounts in Racing Rivals are safe unless you've done something stupid down the road, such as share your account, such as log in on your account on somebody else's device, such as download something you shouldn't have downloaded, or bought an account. A lot of these people, like we've been talking, they bought accounts over the years, they've used them, and everything seems fine. And then what happens? Somebody goes through a list of the accounts they've sold over the years just to see. And sure enough, there's one right there. Look at that. That guy didn't change his password, or he didn't change the email associated with it, so he can change the password, get a notification on his email, log right in, and clean you out. So you got to be careful if you're doing stuff like that. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've heard it a million times over the years. And most of the time, it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth because they go, oh, I was hacked. I was hacked. I was hacked. Screw this game. Screw this. Screw that. And it's really not the case. The case was they were just, you know, I guess lazy, or they were just, you know, sloppy, I guess, really, you know.
Yep.
So.
Yep, for sure.
But hey, Ivan, hope that didn't happen to you, really. Hope not. Even if it did, you know, still time to get some more cars and get your legacy garage together, or just say, hey, screw it, and you're going to start from scratch. You know the thing, starting from scratch, the thing that sucks, I wish I could do the campaign from the beginning with the new 7.0, with the new additions. I really wish I could do the campaign. I know it's probably not going to be all that different, but I just would like to do it on my account just to see, you know, just gives you something to do. And I'm sure, like, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of like achievements or you know, collections or collectibles that you can get doing the campaign. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to log on to one of my accounts I don't use that has a campaign that's not been done yet, and just do it just to see what it's like. Because they did say they're gonna change. There's some funny dialogue, and you know, nothing mind blowing or, you know, earth shattering, but I wouldn't mind giving it a shot and just checking it out.
Typing here, trying to explain and help these guys.
Oh, well, let's just talk about it. Cars, RRC, so, oh, live event, oh my gosh, okay, so there's a lot here. Let me go back. So cars, live events, tuner challenge.
Basically what he was asking me, Joe, he was asking how many, you know, how is there going to be money in 7.0?
Sure.
And I was like, yes, there's plenty of ways to earn money.
Okay.
Live events, tuner challenge, daily challenge, etc. Each event will have the possibility of having RC as an award in a crate. Basically, when we win something, what they just told us this like 2 or 3 events or live streams ago, when you win something, and I even mentioned it when I was there and did my portion of my live stream with them. When you win something, especially like for tuner challenge, okay, tuner challenge, you go into a lobby rating with your car.
Yeah.
Once you get past that lobby rating, you get an award. Okay, that award has a crate in it. That crate can have, and Colby just said this two or three weeks ago.
Yep.
It can have like 2 cars, maybe a paint or a wheel, or it can have 1 car, underglow, and a headlight.
Yeah.
It can have, you don't know what it is. And same with the live events. You do a live event, maybe you have to win 2 or 3 times, or maybe you win once. You get an award. This award is a crate.
Yeah.
That crate has RRC, gems, and a headlight. You don't know what it is. Some of them are repeatable, so you can, oh wow, I just got 100,000 RRC out of that crate. I'm gonna go do that one again.
Yeah.
And you just keep doing it and doing it. Next thing you know, you do it 10 times, you got a $1 million.
Do you have a strategy?
People don't understand.
Do you have a strategy? Anything?
I don't have a strategy yet. Once I get it figured out and see what, because there's so many, each city has so many different events.
Yeah. So
when there's, 6 or 7 cities, so 40 events or something.
Yeah, see, I think, and I don't know, I'm going to have to tweak it, obviously. I don't even know what's coming out yet. So this is just a thought. This is just, the beginning of a plan, maybe. But I think what I'm going to do is find a way, whether it's challenges or these, just different ways to get some money. Maybe I get 100K. And then what I'm going to do is, and like I said, this is all just up in the air right now, but then I might just go to a lobby, find a car that I'm good at. And this is what I did with Racing Rivals, man. Find one car that I'm good at and just get familiar with cars and tunes and see, just make a list of cars that I can beat, cars that it's a challenge, some that are high risk, low risk, and just sit in the lobby racing nonstop and race for money and try to get money. I think that might be the way to go. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a million different ways, but I'm going to try to make some videos, help people out. If I'm doing that and it's working, then hey, I'll make a video, show you guys what I'm doing.
Sure.
If that's not working, or if there's another way that works just as well, and it might be better for your style, maybe it's just go to tuner challenge, and maybe it's this or that, so who knows, really? But I'm going to try to make some more videos. I have a pretty good screen capture now for my, I can race on my iPad. I can mirror it on my PC, record it, throw it into it. I'm going to get a video editing program, edit it up, and then I can put videos up, do my perfect launch tutorials again. I just can't wait for it. Right now, it's kind of stagnant and, obviously for obvious reasons, but I just can't wait to get the wheels turning again, get these videos out there, start racing again, it's all in due time. I know it is. It is. So, but I don't know, man. Anything else? What are you trying to think of? Any questions, man? Who's got questions? When is 7.0 coming out? There's one we have not heard yet. My goodness, Melon Master 64. Where did you come up with that? No, I'm just kidding. Melon Master, man, we don't know when it's coming out. Join the Carbonated Twitch feed, man. Find them on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Follow their social medias. You'll find out that there is no date yet. It's still all up in the air. There you go.
They did mention that the beta testing was underway.
Okay, so there's a clue.
It's my understanding that they were going to do, Colby had mentioned that it was the first set or first wave or first stage or something. So I would guess that they're going to do more testing yet.
Okay.
So I think probably after they get done doing all that and everything works out good and they get all their bugs and all their questions answered.
Yep.
Then they'll probably test it themselves, and I'm sure they already are, but they'll run it through its paces, and if it looks like it's ready to go, then they'll do it. But then again, like I said, they'll give us a few days notice, and everything will be just fine. Nobody will be, oh no, they shut the game off on me. I wasn't ready.
Oh.
I mean, if you're not ready now, after, almost 2 months, 3 months, you should be ready. You shouldn't even be everybody should be ready. If you're not ready now, then that's your fault. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff going on, Joe. Just gotta wait for it.
No doubt. Okay, so I'm sorry. My mind was wandering. I was thinking about this weekend. What days can I do some live pinks racing? And then I started thinking I got to tune some cars up and make sure they're ready and repaired because I haven't done anything to my garage. But my mind was just wandering. Jason Savage. Any word?
Any word on how long turf will be locked? I have been telling that I don't know that I was allowed to.
Maryland Menace, nice.
Basically, what they did when Rivals first started was they gave everybody time to get cars and race and everything, and then they released the beginning of turf. That was probably 2 or 3 months, maybe longer, 6 months. So I would guess that anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks after 7.0 drops, that turf will start.
Yeah.
I think they'll give us plenty of time.
So I thought of this earlier, and it's funny because you just mentioned we were talking about, how long before turf started, when 7.0 drops, and it reminded me of this question I had earlier. And I knew that, turf wouldn't be available for at least a few weeks or more, whatever the case may be. But what about, did they say anything? Are there going to be tuner challenges? Are there going to be trial by fire? Anything of that nature to keep us busy and occupied? Or is it just going to be like lobby racing?
No, Joe, I think right off the bat, I think they're going to have live events.
Okay.
I think they're going to have the tuner challenge.
Yeah.
You'll have your daily goals. Where you can earn stuff right off the bat.
Okay.
I think if you open the app, I think within the first hour you should be having cars and collectibles and things going on that you're engaged right off the bat.
Perfect. Excellent. So that's what I was wondering. And it's not anything that really we've heard them. I haven't heard them, and I'm not going to say I missed a few live streams, but I haven't heard them address that directly. I know they were talking about turf not being available for a few weeks, but then started thinking, I was like, well, what about Tuner Challenge? So hopefully that's the case. And if they have another live stream soon, I might just ask them just to see if I can get an answer from them, straight from the horse's mouth to say.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly. I know that when we did our live stream, they asked us all, what do you want to talk about? What interests you the most that you'd like to have an interview and do with us? And we went through that whole day, that whole Wednesday. We talked about Tuner Challenge and turf and live events and collectibles, and it's so overwhelming that you miss different things that they talked about, but the majority of us, like Dirty Hammer for one, he's a turfer. He likes to pink and crush and boys and Max is life. And so, his concern right off the bat was, these pink vouchers.
Yeah.
We talked about it. They explained it all to us, and make us understand why. And the bottom line is, people get mad. You only got 10 pink losses.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: we don't have a showroom.
Right.
It's not like you're going to go buy 100 cars. You may only have 3 of the cars for that event. You know what I mean?
Well, sure.
When it first goes, so it's eventually, like you said earlier, Joe. I think that once we get going and they see, hey, people in garages are getting bigger. Maybe we can knock this up to 12 or 15 pink vouchers, or 20 or whatever, 25 or whatever.
And in the fact that there is no showroom, so down the road people aren't going to be buying 50 to 100 cars at a time. You might not have a need for those 10 pink vouchers. They might just say, you know what? there's no way for people to buy 50 to 100 cars every week, all these people. So there's not really a need for, the voucher system. So maybe we'll just remove it completely. I mean, the game isn't, like we said, it's not written in stone. It's not, or carved in stone, rather. It can be amended. It can be changed many times. So, just see how the game's going and how it's running. Will the game's song change? That's probably the most important question that we've had.
They just talked about that
Yes.
Last week on their stream. Different songs, different tracks.
Good.
What did he say exactly? I didn't see it Wednesday for some reason. Ever since I've been back from there, I forget Wednesdays or stream. So I end up watching them on like Thursday.
I'll be honest, man. I think I don't remember them talking about the song.
Yeah, he did. He mentioned it was this last week. Because they had that guy with him that was drinking out of that mug, and I never met him when I was there, so I don't remember his name. But he was fantastic.
That might have been the week before, because this last week they had Lampy on, right?
Yeah.
It was Daniel.
Was the last week they had Lampy?
I believe it was this past week they had Daniel, Colby, and Lampy. Yeah, Lampy.
Yep, so it was 2 weeks ago was when they brought that up.
See, that was the one I didn't get to see, because it was Whiskey
he
Wednesday.
Said something to that guy, and the guy's like, should we call them tracks or songs or? And he's like, tracks are good.
Okay.
So
here's another question now that I'm thinking about it. One that I have that. So during turf.
I don't call him Doctor.
Doctor, Mr. Daddy. Oh, Dr. Daddy. Oh, Dr. Daddy. Dr. Daddy, how you get so cool, man? You're very fast. So, Dr. Daddy.
That's just cracking me up.
Oh my gosh. What was my question? I lost track of what I was going to ask. So in turf, there's the new format for betting. And I don't really know how to explain it 100%, except for you both agree to race. So no matter what happens, there's no chickening. There's a race that's going down. So you can bet money, and I can raise money. You still have the opportunity to race for free, or to race for the money, raise money and raise pinks, and then at which point it would come back to me, and I can say we can race for what I raised, and that's it. I can race for what you raised, or I can raise even more. So there's multi-levels. There's a safe zone. You can go back to what was last bet, or you can bump it up. So there's that. So that's during turf. But is that the same? Is that the same betting format that's going to be in multiplayer and all the other events? Because they're not going to.
I do know.
They're not going to have a queue, or maybe they will. I don't know. I'm wondering if they're going to have that same betting format.
I don't know. I think the way they're going to have it set up would be, how like they're pairing you up with people in turf.
Yeah.
So, therefore, you're both agreeing to no matter what, at least a race.
Right, but in a multiplayer lobby, that's not the case. Like, I'm challenging you, and I still have the opportunity at that point in time to say no. Like, I'm not in a queue to race. So I don't know if it's going to go back to the current format. I'll have to ask that. I'm going to have to put that down, write that down here, and maybe ask them that on one of their next live streams, whether it's Wednesday or next Wednesday or next year. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. I'd like to see them do more.
Like I said, when they're pairing you up, you have no choice.
Yeah.
You're going to race. So, but yeah, in like multi, I don't think that it's that way. So maybe even in the live events, I don't know that they're pairing you up. I don't remember if they brought that up or not.
I don't know. I'd like to ask them that. I'm kind of curious how that's going to work out. Will there be more supercars? Melon Master 64 asks, will there be more supercars? I don't know, Melon Master, but I'm going to say yes. I'm gonna say yes.
I think there will be supercars. The only thing that I know that Daniel had just said in one of the streams that your car will be matched up per lobby rating. So if you have a R3 car and you're trying to race a C-class car and a 56 lobby, you're going to run about the same time.
Sure.
And that's, so if you're going to have a supercar, might as well max it.
Right, and that's the thing
get
too.
The best time out of it.
Because as it is right now, and I agree to it to a certain extent that if you're going to put a turf car on the line, it should have a slight advantage. It should have a certain amount of an advantage over a showroom car or a less valuable car, and I get that. But things are so skewed right now. You know, we're talking lobbies can be, you can have two cars in the same lobby, maxed to that lobby's potential, and there can still be a half a second difference between this car and that car. Half a second is the world when it comes to racing, you know. That is way too much. I would say no more than a tenth of a second at the most. That's like that's the most advantage. I think, and I don't know, I think from my understanding. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, from my understanding, I think from my understanding, lobbies, cars, tunes are going to be a much tighter window.
Yeah, and you know, the only other way that they could do it, which under my understanding is almost impossible, is to give the timing on the tree different. So like if I'm in an F40 Ferrari in the 1650 lobby where I'm running, you know, 9.4s, 9.3s, whatever those run, 9 seconds, 8.9, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm racing a Civic. That Civic takes off, you know, a second before me, or a half second, or whatever that is. But I don't, from what I gather, they can't do that, or it would just be too, you know, it's too hard to do it, or impossible.
Yeah, because, well, think about it. If, say, a car is leaving a half a second before another car, how do you take into consideration just, you know, the different latencies between devices? And I think it would just get I think that would get way too complicated. Maybe I'm just thinking of it from my point of view. I don't know. I've never really dug into the programming aspect and, you know, timing and all that, but I just think it would get way too messy, way too quick, and it would open up. I think it would open up a can of worms that it puts us even if they could get it to work perfectly. All right, I don't know if people would accept that, because here you're sitting at the line and a half a second or a tenth of a second or 30 thousandths of a second early, a car takes off and you're like, wait a minute, I'm still sitting. I don't. You don't see that in real life. You know, doesn't happen in real life. You don't have two cars at the starting line and have one able to leave a little earlier than the other. It's just too radical of an idea, I think, right now for the game.
Yep. So. And you know, it's just much easier to make every car lobby rated so that, you know, there's, like you said, a little bit of a difference is fine.
Yeah.
And hey, if I throw minus 8 wheels on my 8-pound wheels on my car, I should be able to have a little bit of advantage. Yeah. Hey,
I'm sorry, no, this is Dirty Hammer. So that was Dr. Dave. Dirty Hammer says, Joe, show everyone the tattoo on your butt that Craig has a picture of. Now, I would, but here's the thing. if YouTube frowns upon that type of activity here, I will tell you this, though. I have a J on one cheek and an E on the other, so when I moon you, it says Joe. So, there it is. I'll give you a hint. It's my name, but it's only 2 letters. So, all right. Well, hey, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this one up here. It's been a lot of fun. It always is. It's getting not too late compared to usual. But there's some things I got to do tonight, and I'm a little on the tired side. I'm going to get together maybe some Pinks racing this weekend for turf. Keep an eye out for those. Make sure to turn those notifications on. Jeff as always, want to thank you for joining me and doing this turf guide week after week when you could probably be just hanging out and doing whatever you want at home, but you're here with me, with the viewers, with the community, doing this turf guide, talking about the game. So I just want to thank you for hanging out and thank you for your time, really.
Sure, always a pleasure, Joe.
All right, Marilyn Menace says, peace out. Dirty Hammer wants to know who wants to be timed out before we go. I don't know why anybody want to be timed out, but go for it. All right. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. I'm Pigpen, the one and only. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn those video notifications on so you never miss a live stream. Peace out, Cub Scout. Woo!